Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. Okay, today's show is going to be a little bit interesting. I'm going to try to do some editing magic on my end. What we're going to do is I'm going to review Harley Quinn, and then I'm going to try to tack on the Omaha video that I have at the end of this. So some of you might say, oh man, this is probably going to be a short episode. And the answer is yes, this is going to be a short episode because, yeah, this is bad. All right, I'm going to give the too long didn't read version of this episode. Harley Quinn and the Gotham Girls is a really bad set, and it's good if you are looking to make 1920s or 30s theme teams, and you just want to collect the bombshells or collect the justice gods. Other than that, it's mostly crap. If you love Apocalypse, good for you. Okay, I'm not a feminist, but if I was a feminist, I'd be a little pissed because this set yells girl power, and it's sort of punkish. Yeah. So anyway, let's get into this. First off, number one, Harley Quinn is good. Why is number one Harley Quinn good? Because she's 20 points for shape change, 4 clicks, and willpower with Batman enemy, which would allow you to, functionally share your attack. Now, does this automatically mean that everything is going to be Tony the Tiger great? No, it doesn't. But for 20 points, you can't really do that wrong. You can't really go that wrong with it. You got 4 clicks. So I have to recommend it just for that. It's a good tie-up piece. It's a sacrificial Harley Quinn. Next is the Joker, number 2. This is great because all you really need to do is find a good taxi / dial fodder for the Joker, and you have the basics of old school lamp. So I like this. I think this is really good. With the changes to precision strike, this Joker is way stronger than what most people think, and I would give it a strong B+. It's almost A class. I just think it goes into A class depending on if you can get some plasticity and also what type of character you have absorbing your mastermind hits. Because in all reality, you got some grade A monsters out there now because of Unimind. So if you're using this as a side tactic, I think that's probably your better idea, is to use Lamp as a side tactic. But gotta love it. Next up is Big Tony. He only uses Perplex to target friendlies, but it's 15 points. And I know we have another 15-point character that allows us to just have Perplex, but, you get this on turn 1. You don't have to activate it. And he also has Underworld, so that's nice too. Sidestep, it's all right. Next up is Stompa. Now, I like Stompa for her antimatter boots. Now, in the cartoon, I always laughed at this chick when she showed up. She was one of those characters that really made me feel like I was watching a comic book. Anyway, let's look at her special power. Antimatter boots. She gets Quake, but once per turn when Stompa hits with a close attack after a resolution, she may use Quake at no cost. So pretty much what you do is you charge, attack, just punch somebody. If you hit, you get to Quake for free. Now, if you have it set up just a single target, Stompa technically has Flurry without Flurry. So you can go up, run up, hit a character for 3 damage. Hopefully not knock them back, but if that would happen, you just choose not to do knockback. And then Quake for the final action, hopefully you can target Quake to do another 3 damage. Now, here's the best thing. If you find a way of giving her Flurry, now she goes in, charge, Flurry, attack 1, attack 2, then the free attack Quake. And that's where I think she can be really silly. But as of right now, I give her a solid A. Stampa will be killer in sealed. For people that aren't looking for it in constructed, I just really hope that people keep their minds open just a little bit. Next up is 50 point Scarecrow, and it's just primarily there for the fear gas. We have a lot of ranged characters, and if you just say, hey, here's this fear gas, now you have Battle Fury. I think that's going to be a good thing. 15 points for Hive Trooper, yes please, with Empower and Energy Explosion and 4 range. So yeah, not as good as some classic Hive Troopers, but it does follow up with the other Hive Trooper from way back in the day that gave us enhancement. And most of you all probably don't remember that because you didn't play during that time. Next up is Mercenary. Now, Mercenary, is that a guy or a girl? Because the graphics make me question. But okay. Main reason I like Mercenaries, for 15 points, you could potentially have, deal 4 damage, and I like that. It's a risk. If it dies, it dies. You didn't invest a lot of points. Now, I know some people might say, but Dark Logos, I can have a Super 8 that will have 3 damage in RCE. Yeah. This thing has willpower. I mean, it really comes down to if poison takes off, having clicks of life matters. If poison doesn't take off, there's no difference between having 1 or 3 clicks of life when there's no damage reduction. So, yeah, take it as you will. Next up is GCPD Officer. I like it, 30 points. PD, sidestep, and enhancement. That's a very good offensive combination for a very low point cost without having it being a prime or anything like Captain Stacy was. And it has, as a trait, power action, place adjacent up to 2 friendly characters with the police keyword within 4 squares. So this is sort of like a ghetto TK, except as a placement. Well, actually, TK is a placement too, except this doesn't require line of fire. So this can be really, really good. And this little teleport power, I think, is probably going to take off. And you're going to just bear in mind, like, there's bound to be a bunch of shenanigans that people are going to do, leapfrogging these GCPD officers and police characters. So be on the lookout for that. Next up is number 16, Wonder Woman. You're just primarily using her for acting as a secretary, means keeping you guys straightened out. Just so that you can use JSA if the character is considered adjacent if they're within 6 squares of Wonder Woman, just for the JSA team ability. I wish it was for other things, but unfortunately it's not. So she's worth it for 40 points. So I think it's great. Moving on, I got to endorse Lou. And here's why. 25 points, poison, and when he uses it, you may give him an action token. If you do, he deals penetrating damage when using poison this turn. So you're in a low investment. It's shape change. It's 10 attack, 2 damage. Combat reflexes, great tie-up, and you can do poison. And if you really, really need to do poison, you can take a power action to do penetrating. That's great. That can change the tempo in a game. And so if you're stuck with Lou versus, God of Strength Superman on his later clicks, you might be able to kill him. All right. Let's go to Big Barda. Now, Big Barda is by far one of the characters that I think actually makes this set a little bit more interesting. So we're going to talk about her standard uncommon and her prime. At 125 for a standard uncommon, you got a good price tag. You're getting a little bit of the Athena treatment, but that's okay. She has Superman enemy, which I feel is really inflating her cost more than I really would like. And I think, we already know Superman enemy has not changed because it still works the same as it always has. But one of the nice things I do like with the whole fact that she has Superman enemy is that if you can find a decent wild card to team her with, now you have Outwit, and that's great. Alright, so she has Running Shot, Psychic Blast. She has the trait Will of Apocalypse. When Big Barda hits, until your next turn, she has Protected, Outwit, Opposing, Perplex, Exploit Weakness, and Penetrating Psychic Blast. That's more useful on really your back half of your dial, except for the Outwit and Opposing Perplex. Then she has Granny's Pride and Joy. She has Leadership. When Big Barda uses it and succeeds, choose Empower or Enhancement. She can use the chosen power this turn. So I like that. Now, unfortunately, you're looking at a 1 in 3 chance of getting Empower or Enhancement, but that's still not totally bad. She's better than Thena. She is better than Thena, but she also is a higher rarity than Thena, I think, as well. But other than that, she just turns into a close combat sort of character after she loses her running shot. Her range is respectable, but it's not like super long. Alright, now go to Prime Big Barda, and lo and behold, this is the Big Barda I knew back in the day. This is a chick you go drinking with. Down for the cause. Okay, so the personal boom tube phasing when Big Barda uses it after action is resolved, you may roll a d6. If the result is greater than the square's move, make an attack. This is great. Now, I know some of you might be saying this is nowhere close to the old school boom tube sneak attack. I know, but you're able to just get out of there. Now, there is a disadvantage. You're losing the end dom, and I understand that does suck. But this is not bad. This is definitely not bad. And you fly now versus the other Barda. She is grounded. Then you have Coordinated Attack. You get Empower, but instead affects friendly characters within 3 squares. So she's a little bit more consistent now. So I like her. She's able to get in position, hit with an object, maybe take a shot or two, and use Empower. I think she's useful. I give her a B-. She's not going to show up unless you're in Rock and if you have the dungeon map. I think that right there, she becomes the master of the battlefield on the dungeon map. So, yeah. Next up is number 24, Scarecrow. Now, the main reason that I like Scarecrow is not because of his trait, because his trait is straight balls. But because he's 85 points for a decent running shot, psychic blast, energy shield deflection for 6 clicks. Overall, his points with his powers and being a flyer, he's not bad. So I just have to say, he is worth looking at. Probably like a C+ character. If he had like a 7 range, he would definitely be a solid B character. Alright. I would love to recommend the Hive Commander really fast. I just want to point something out. I would love to recommend the Hive Commander. If he was like 35 points, I would actually say he's worth it. But his keywords are not that good because you can get better characters with those keywords unless it's armor or Hive. And yeah, so anyway, let's go to number 29, Batman. And the main reason I like it is Enemy of Corrupt Cops. Friendly characters, defensive values can't be modified by opposing characters. And this is great. I do think the future of the game is to start messing with defense values. And he says, nope, stopping that. Now the question comes in is, how can we make some adaptions with that in existence? So, Overall, definitely Batman. He is pretty good. Number 29. Batman TA plus PD and outwit. Like he's a really, really, really nice support. And I think like a 500-point game, you get more out of this Batman than a 300-point game. All right, Red Tornado is number 32. And I like this character for multiple reasons. Number one, you're guaranteed to get use out of this character, not just on a JSA team, because she has Defend. She is 4 clicks deep with Regen, which I don't know why, but she does. Okay. She has a special power called Come and Get It. She can use support, double power action, place any number of other friendly characters within 4 squares adjacent to Red Tornado, then heal each plays character with the Justice Society keyword. 1 click. Now, this is Come Save a Jakeem. And I never thought there would be a character that I would play just to save Jakeem Thunder's butt. Now, I know in part it sucks because I can't lower, Jakeem's defense, and her magical heal doesn't allow her to heal people as if their defense was like 15 or 16 or something cool like that. But Captain Save a Jakeem, you want to get this. She's good. And there are tons of other great JSA characters in the future and in the past that are it's ridiculous. Also, you can call her in with the Red Tornado ID card. So my uncle, the Red Tornado, coming in, save a day, save a Jakeem, Captain Save a Jakeem. All right, then we have number 33, Dr. Harley Quinn. Now, you might say, what? Why this? Well, number one, she's 33 points. And then she has a trait that says pretty much free. Place Dr. Harley Quinn in an adjacent square that is on a diagonal. Now, some of you might say, why is that important? It's important because, number one, it does not require line of fire. It does not matter about elevation. It just places. And because of that, that allows you to set up movements to completely baffle your opponent or get to places that your opponent might think that you can't get to. And I think that is a huge deal. You're functionally just saying this character auto breaks away, can then sidestep, and then move wherever the heck it wants. That's a lot of movement, and it's deceptive. So I like it for that. So definitely do not underestimate this character. I think this has a use. The question is how, and can you get more out of Dr. Harley Quinn? All right, next up is number 37, Batgirl. And I like her because she has the hypersonic speeds in the steel energy. You gotta get all the hypersonics to the speeds. And she can heal past her starting line. She also has a great defensive power. World War I flying ace. She gets super senses when attacked by a character with the wing symbol. Modify Batgirl's defense by +3. So there are tons of flying, attacking, dive bombing, bastards that you're going to just have to deal with from meta play. And she's great. She just comes in and says, "Boom, I'm a 20. At worst, I'm a 19." So, and I have super senses. So I like her. She can heal up, and she can be an 11 blades, with exploit. I'm not even banking on you seeing most of those clicks. Where I'm more looking at is how she's going to just work as a general attacker. Now, one thing I do think that we have to consider is her with the swordsman and the katana ID card, or even more importantly, her with like not Thunderstrike. No, it is Thunderstrike. Her with Thunderstrike and her ability to recover a lot once she starts hitting. So I like this. I think there's some potential here. I know some people might say like, "Ooh, that's a lot of points," but when you stack in the bombshell trait, and the defense special power, and the traded steel energy, it's not a bad deal. It's not the best deal in the world, but it's not a bad deal. All right, next up is number 41, Enchantress. Now, I know some of you might say, she's inconsistent and a little wonky. Why would you pick her? And she has a penalty, potentially. And if you've noticed, I really haven't picked characters with that, what part of Suicide Squad didn't you understand? Because I don't think that's good for gameplay. Considering that you're not giving any deep discounts from what I can see to a player for running one of these figures. And one of these figures is easy to KO in the modern game with Unimind floating around and several other characters. So why would I run this? Like, realistically, WizKids, if not even saying like BVS Superman, because he does exist. BVS Superman can clock somebody for 5 and then do it again the next turn. But at least BVS Superman is nerfed because of, the not perplex rule, because of the hypersonic speed rules. Unimind just straight perplexes fools up. So I really don't like how this, the concept of a set standing only within itself and not looking outward. I think that's a foolish type of game design, but that's my personal viewpoint. Anyway, again, like I said, why am I recommending Enchantress? Number one is that she has that damage power, and it can go either way. You either get enhancement or support or perplex and miss 16 ability. You preferably want the 4 through 6, but the 1 through 3 is not bad, and considering she's stationary, she's going to get a lot out of enhancement just sitting there. Then she has the ability to use steel energy at range with her damage or her attack special power, which I also think is good, which gives her a degree of survivability. But I also think that just yells to the opponent, "Please come burst me down, please, please, please." But overall, I know the fact that her damage power gives her shape change, and you might have a little bit more survivability and 18 defense, energy shield, and she's primarily a range character, so she will stay at range. And it's sad when you look at the game now and you're like, "Ooh, 20 defense. Do I really want to risk a 20 defense?" Because a 20 defense with ESD is not that dependable because of Nighthawk Prime and because of Merc with the Mouth. So it's not even the fact that my opponent can just outwit it. It's just that I will never get to use it because I can't get a stat mod, maybe. So I like it. Again, that C+, if things were a little bit different, more than likely a B. But I do think it's something to be mindful that once Nighthawk Prime retires, how many people are going to go towards Merc with the Mouth? And I don't think a lot. All right, let's go to number 42, Catwoman. I like her because she gives you an alternative if you couldn't get Space Leo. Space Leo is a chase. She's accessible. She's able to steal objects potentially. Or better yet, just put objects in her square. I wish she could equip them or at least remove them from the game. But for 50 points, she's not bad for what she does, which is trying to stop your opponents from equipping weapons if they don't already start with them equipped. Okay. So, I like that. I really do like that. All right, now we're going to go And we're going to look at Kite Man. Now, Kite Man probably has one of the dumbest names that I've ever heard in the history of comics. And I've heard a lot of names. Like my name is Porcupine. Come on. But anyway, if you look at Kite Man is worth the cost of entry. Kite Man is what you want to pull from the set. Kite Man is a character you're like, ooh, I can't walk away without getting a Kite Man. Now, some of you, again, you're probably thinking back, it's like Dark Logos, he's on that stuff. Why is Kite Man good? He's a 10 movement, 9 attack, energy shield, flyer that does 2 damage. Well, let's just look at his trait. Kite Man, hell yeah. Sounds like something straight out of the 70s. Passenger 2. At the beginning of your turn, if Kite Man is holding an object, he may move up to 2 squares. So, I guess that just says like he gets anchored down, so he can't carry a light or anything like that. But functionally, if you're carrying 2 characters, you're moving them out 8 squares, and for 15 points. And if you have wild cards, you also have Batman enemy. You're not in Dom, I get it. And yes, you could just like push it to, grind it till the till the wings fall off. That's fine. But the hugest thing I look at with this endeavor is, if you just need a simple basic taxi, you don't have to pay for overdrive. And you just start off and you just go. Yes, overdrive can move farther. I get it. But if you don't need to be down your opponent's throat in turn by turn 2, this is a good alternative. And it's cheap. It's 15 points. So this is an A+ meta piece right here. Kite Man. Alright, next up is Dr. Midnight. I'm just pretty much looking at him for a simpler time trade. Nothing else. I wish he had support on his front end, but he doesn't. And that's his big thing that he does. He heals people. A 45-point perplex really doesn't have a place in this game. So, I don't like it. Now, yes, he can generate a Hootie. And Hootie is nothing to write home about. So, let's keep it rolling. I'm going to say this. Most of these super rares are bad. They really are bad. Like, Elseworld's bad. And I know some people will say, like, but I like, Harley Quinn title character. I like Joker title character. Okay, great. You can like them. I'm not going to fight you on that. But I don't think that they can hold their weight in the current format. I really don't think they can. So let's look at some things. Now, Supergirl, I was questioning to add Supergirl or not, because 160, she's not bad. And at 130, I wouldn't pay that at all. Not for 130. 120, 100 points, I would definitely pay that. But I would not pay those clicks for 130. So, I can't fully recommend Supergirl, but if you like her, go for it. And I also can't recommend the Bombshell Wonder Woman either. She's not bad. It's just you're starting with a 10 attack, and you have 1 click of 11. I really can't endorse that. Alright, so let's look at Zatanna. And before anybody goes buck wild crazy about Zatanna, she is okay. She's a B- character. Why are you even looking at Zatanna? It's because of the ID card only. and that you get a permanent John Constantine. And for whatever little activity you're about to go down and do, you have a permanent. You did a power action to have two perplexes two probs for that turn. And I think that is a good idea, considering now that we have to deal with Unimind's perplexes and him perplexing up his defense by 2 or by 3 in some cases. I think paying a power action to increase your odds exponentially is not a bad idea. So I definitely have to recommend Zatanna because of John Constantine. Now, the attack and the mind control and everything else that this character does, I don't care. I really do not care. But primarily that John Constantine in a hat. That's why you play. That's why you play this figure. All right, next up is King Shark. King Shark is really only good at 90 points if and only if you can combine him with a character that can make water or you have a theme team. That's your only reason for playing this piece whatsoever. You're not playing this for any other reason. I would like to love Giganta, but I can't. I want to love Lashana, but I can't. I just can't. She's nowhere as good as some of her previous versions. Nightshade. Now this chick is the truth. This chick is the truth. And I think that a lot of people are going to mess up and they are going to pass her up, mainly because she's not a big damage dealing bruiser type character. And she's not a insane support to the naked eye. But she is good. Really good. I would actually say her and Kite Man are sitting, near the top of the set. So, and I'd say near the top of the set while not being a chase. So there we go. All right, so let's break this down real quick. I hate that what part of Suicide Squad didn't you understand, but it's worth the risk. Travel the Land of Nightmares, that ability is broken. You get stealth. Then free, you get to place Nightshade in hindering terrain within 5 squares. So you have somebody lay out free smoke cloud, then boom, that happens. Then you take a power action, you place a friendly character within 5 squares and place it within hindering terrain adjacent to Nightshade. So she's just like, hey, we need to get over there so that we can go pop them in the mouth. So Storm's going to free smoke cloud. I'm going to bamf here. I'm going to place you. Then I'm going to take power action, bring you over here with me, and then you're going to go off and then slay 1,000 dragons because I just placed us over here with this ghetto TK / placement jank. Yes, this is why she's silly. Again, dungeon map all day, every day. If there is stuff here that you can do, and your opponent can't stop you. Your opponent can't stop you. If you're able to have free smoke cloud, she becomes so strong. She just becomes really, really strong. Shadows Arise, she can use smoke cloud and poison. When Nightshade uses poison, opposing characters in hindering terrain within 5 squares are also dealt damage. So yes, again, she's strong. Really, really strong. She has barrier and prob to add on to it. So ta-da. Yeah, this is probably one of the best support pieces that we've seen in a while. Alright, let's talk about Harley Quinn, number 59A. Harley Quinn, number 59A is good if you're looking for a big punch him in the gut type character. If you pull her in sealed, congratulations. You may not have won sealed, but you're probably going to do really good unless your dice hates you. And other than that, she is okay. Everything that she does, I could do without it. Only her trait I really think is actually decent, allowing her to use steel energy at close and range. And then after, when an opposing character is KO'd, after resolutions, heal her one click. Now, I like this because if she gets Stormbreaker and she says to the enemy, like, look, I'm going to energy explode you, all your pogs. First off, she would heal from steel energy. The pog is killed, and then she would heal again for each pog that died. Because it says after resolution. Oh, never mind. After resolutions. Take that back. I thought it was the after resolution singular. So never mind. So she can heal. She could potentially heal twice if she KOs a pog. If she had Thunderstrike, she could heal 3. So I like her. But she needs to have equipment to make her better. But other than that, she's fine. The Prime, Prime's crap. Her attack value, the attack value on the Prime's crap. Sand, I like him for the simpler time and the fact you're paying 35 points for RCE and a 10 attack with Endom. And you pretty much are getting like the Mystique power where you get the phasing teleport and then use Force Blast as a free action. So, yeah, this is great. Let's look at chases real fast. And I know everybody's like, oh man, this is not even an hour. We're going lightning fast. He must hate this set. Batman God of Knowledge. Why am I talking about Batman God of Knowledge? Well, number one, he has a 9 range. And that if that doesn't concern you, it should, because we're back in Nick Fury territory, people. He also has Batman ally in Quint. Okay. He has improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain, so he can be stealth and see you in stealth. God of Knowledge, opposing characters within 6 squares and lower points can't use Perplex. So, hello, Unimind, you can't use Perplex if I sit on top of your face. Mobius Chair, Phasing, Teleport, Batman, God of Knowledge can use it as a free if he has no action tokens. So your first few turns, you can just bamf around and just get in position and outwit people and just be a dick. Grayson. Ha ha! Gotcha. Then it has Batman God of Knowledge may carry friendly characters with the wing symbol. Now, if that wasn't a problem, it definitely is. Now, he's still going to be Passenger 1, but the fact that he can carry a friendly characters with the wing symbol, that actually is a little concerning. Because there was flyers can't carry flyers for a reason, but hey, other Batmans can't carry, or other flyers can't carry Batman, so it balances out a little bit. All knowledge is at my fingertips. He has Outwit. When Batman God of Knowledge uses it, instead of choosing one power, you may choose 2 powers or 1 team ability. Now, you can't get rid of Quint or Power Cosmic, but that's okay. Now, overall, you could say, like, hey, Dark Logos, really, is this really that good? And I'm like, yeah. And let's sort of take it a little bit further. You have a 9 range, improved targeting, ignores characters. You have 11 attack, 4 damage at 225. It is a little bit expensive, but you're also just able to blast people from a really far distance, and you're able to move for free using phasing teleport if you have no action tokens, which functionally makes your range a 19, which is pretty much a standard size map. Everything but one square in front of your opponent's starting area. From jump stump, you can hit. Yeah, he's stupid. Way overpowered for reach. For reach, it's just silly. For ID cards, oh man, oh gosh, you don't need TK. And let's just say you did have TK. That's full map reach. That is full map reach. So yes, Batman God of Knowledge, definitely really strong. Next up is the Flash. Oh, real quick, Batman God of Knowledge. The couple first clicks of 11 attack and Psychic Blast are good. Then the Precision Strike and the Super Senses, that's not so good. The regen is meh. I can live without it. But the fact that half of your dial you have all knowledge is at my fingertips, it's ooh gosh, that's good. All right, let's go ahead and skip down to the Flash, God of Death. I think he is probably by far one of the strongest of the chases, and here's why. He has traded Steel Energy, and opposing characters within 6 squares and lower point value can't be healed. So hey you, Joker, haha Joker, you're in trouble now. Soul Harvest. You get Steel Energy when opposing character is KO'd. After resolutions, heal the Flash, God of Death, 1 click. Yeah. If he KO'd the character and the character was 75 points or more, also remove an action token. Yeah, like, he is hard to kill. He is hard to kill. If he's able to keep his momentum up, he's really hard to kill. Then you have the attack power, which is no escape from death, precision strike, free. If he has 0 or 1 action tokens, make a close attack. You combine that with Steel Energy, it's just yeah, it's ridiculous the amount of attacks that he could get off. Combined him with Thunderstrike. He just heals right back up. He's really hard to take down. I would definitely say the entire time you're just trying to utilize his mobility as much as you can. Definitely a must buy. Can't say more than that. Green Lantern, God of Light. Why do I like him? Let's look at this. We have an 8 range, 2 targets, Green Lantern, and Quint team ability. He has God of Light. Opposing characters within 6 squares and lower points can't use stealth. Really not that helpful, but okay. I am everywhere. Power. Give Green Lantern God of Light. Place Green Lantern God of Light in a square that's within half his speed value. Then make an attack. Yeah. He's just, I'm here, and now I shoot you. So, not as good as Batman, but pretty good. And you don't have to have line of fire. I think that's the purpose. I mean, like, the moment that there's no line of fire on this is the moment that they just said at WizKids, crack is not enough. We have to go full on meth. Okay. Then you have Mother Ring. Can you restore Oa? You get Barrier, Impervious. Friendly characters adjacent to Green Lantern God of Light or one of his barrier markers modify defense value by +1. Now, again, that won't matter so much in the land of Nighthawk Prime, who seems to be a god slayer and a limiter of monsters. But yeah, that is stupid. Then you have I Am Light. And he has enhancement, range combat expert, and opposing characters hit by his attack modify their modified defense by -1 this turn. So let's look at this. Functionally, Green Lantern can pop out a God literally knows where, say, hey man, I'm an all-star, literally. Pulse Wave, son, get your game on. Yeah. And hit you for 4. And this is legit as an ID card because real name Hal Jordan. Yeah. I thought, like, oh yeah, Shazam ID card. You don't need it for the Pulse Waves. I'm like, no, you don't. You just need Green Lantern, God of Light. Like, that's all you need. And his awesome hair. And or he can just be like, yeah, man, I'm placed over here with phasing. I'm going to use range combat expert, up my attack to 13 or my damage to a 6, and, boom, supernova blast to the face. Like, Krillin got nothing on this. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's way too strong. I don't like characters that can just be like, yeah, I'm over here now, and I get to do massive amounts of damage. I get to just break away automatically and be over here now and do massive amounts of damage. The problem comes in is, as an ID card, this character is severely unbalanced. Severely unbalanced. Because I'm glad Unimind can't call him in. Because if Unimind could call him in, we would have a problem. And I think this would be the beginning of the how do I defeat Unimind? Let me count the ways. Because then, having a active Pulse Waver back in the game would be a positive. But man, no, like this is not good. This is just not good. Now, one thing I am glad is that with his place ability, he can't carry and use his Green Lantern ability. So he is a little bit limited in that. But other than that limitation, he's silly. Now, I like Shazam. Real quick, I like Shazam, God of Gods, just for the fact that he does his Pulse Wave. And he's actually, like, reasonably balanced with his Pulse Wave. Other than that, and he has knockback when he uses Pulse Wave, which can get silly. Other than that, he's okay. Lex Luthor, God of Apocalypse, I just want to see what somebody does with it. That's it. I don't really have a recommendation beyond that. The number 67 Wonder Woman, she is good as a call-in. She seems to be a really good call-in. But other than that, I really don't have much to say about her. Alright, that's the set review. Yeah. Overall, I'm going to say some very choice words right now. Don't buy this. I listed out a nice amount of figures, but some of this stuff you can just come back and look and say, like, he's being nice, he's being generous. You didn't really need Big Tony. Stampa is really sort of interesting, but okay. Number 9 Scarecrow is okay. Lou, that was different. Okay. Wonder Woman, yeah, I should go buy Wonder Woman. Big Barda, he was really trying to sell it hard, but yeah, I don't think he sold me on that. That Batman number 29 is not as good as he says. Enchantress, that's a coin flip. Kite Man, he made a really good case for Kite Man. I might have to at least get one of those. And everything else, Nightshade seems to be somebody you need to buy. Everything else seems like a crapshoot or it's a chase. And that's it. You don't need to buy this. You really don't need to buy it. I feel that if this set was focused on highlighting characters that are in between 15 points and 125 points, they did a very poor job on that. If the point of this set was to create interesting secondary attackers and unique control characters, they failed severely on this for this set. Okay, if the point of this set was to go out and just milk a license that a lot of people liked because they were pinup cheesecake chicks and in a very female dominated set, then ding ding ding, there you go. There you go. I look at like a lot of missed opportunities in this set. I look at a lot of failed synergy that could have been placed with the Furies, for example. Setting up, Stampa comes in and quakes over, to Lashina. Lashina does something, and then, Granny Goodness comes in and does that, and then Big Barda, finishes them off or whatever. Like, there's, in spite of the meta player in me, yelling like all of this is crap, burned with, fire. The person that came in and loved the game for the characters says, like, this is a waste of plastic. Because you haven't done anything that made me want to forget any of my older Apocalypse figures that were, that I have versions of these characters. Especially Granny Goodness, in my opinion. There's nothing with Granny Goodness that makes me say, like, oh yeah, that's the Granny Goodness I remember from the cartoons. Oh yeah, that's the Granny Goodness that can really, bring a threat to a bunch of Supermans that we've seen in the last few years. It's a waste. When you look at quality, the quality, unfortunately, is at the higher rarities. You can tell the work is put in at the higher rarities, and this is going to be a continuous problem with WizKids because they want to have higher rarities, be more complicated, but the problem is that they only know how to make complicated figures good. They don't know how to make basic characters good. Make me spend common prices, because those common price figures that don't get any discounts because of rarity, if you can make me come back and look at those commons and those uncommons, then I can definitely say, like, yes, you have a grasp of game design. But they haven't. They really haven't. It's like they took all their energy and put it into Thor and then said, oh, we have a Harley Quinn set. The speed and these steroids that I was taking to get my health back together to make this Thor set, that's wearing off. And, I started eating that kale salad, so I'm stopped doing that. Let me hit this meth up because I want to lose my teeth. Yeah, just break them all out and then call me Charlie. And I lived in a van down by the river. That's what they did with this set. And they were like, ooh, you know what I like being in a van down by the river? I like having a pinup catalog. Can we put that into this set? Oh, yeah, there's a whole comic book series about a pinup catalog type idea. Yes, we can make that into a set. And then, they hit the meth again, and they were like, oh, yeah, best idea ever. I knew it was a bad concept to, try to get healthy and eat that kale salad, man. When I look at the justice gods, I am concerned, and I'm mainly concerned about how Batman, God of Knowledge, Green Lantern, God of Light, and Flash, God of Death, those three have too much potential, way too much potential to not be ignored. You have to be aware of all of them. And in particular, like the Flash God of Light, people will forget, like JLA, the the ruling on that team ability change, Flash functionally is his movement +1. Like, don't sleep on that. Like, he's a 15 move hypersonic speed. He's not a 14 move hypersonic speed. And the only thing sort of bringing him down, I guess, is because he's grounded. If he was a flyer, he would be far more abusive. But when I look at Batman just being able to phase to complete safety, and then and have no action token, and then the following turn just be like, yeah, I'm here now, and this happened, this happened, this happens, and now you're dead. Good game. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that Green Lantern can do something very similar to that, and have more points to back himself up with it. There are too many issues to not ignore. There's too many issues that you just can't ignore with how game design is with the chases. And I understand folks will say, like, I don't want to have a crap chase. And I get it. I don't want to pull a crap chase either. I get it. But when you're looking at getting people into competitive, and you're looking at getting people interested in the finer mechanics of the game, and you keep gate walling the best of the best in the chase and in the super rare slot, I'm sorry, you're asking your game to fail. It would be something if these characters would revert back and have a reference to the commons and uncommons and brought them up and said, like, look, you know, if I play the Flash God of Death with, you know, insert common character here, you know, the Flash God of Death can grant blank. And that's what that character needs, so that it's like, it goes from being B or even C level to A level. Like, do something that just reaches down to some of your other lower rarity figures and raise them up, WizKids, because you just seem to not be able to do that. Like, you're completely incompetent to do that. And the closest you get to anything along that nature is the bombshells, and the bombshells are really not that good. The other thing is with the penalty for the Suicide Squad. At first, I thought when I initially read it, it's like, oh yeah, I die and I give my opponent a -1 to their action pool. And it's like, no, I take a -1 to my action pool. I just lost a character. You're not giving me boss stats. You had characters with weaker penalties in Elseworlds, and they had better stats and better powers. And their whole penalty was less severe. This is a very severe penalty, because it means that when I've lost complete momentum and my opponent has gained momentum, I lose additional momentum. So not only am I down, I'm really down. And you're not giving me characters that can take a lot of hits in the game that's been designed. So, no, this trait is trash. And it's ruining a good figure. Like, Enchantress could be way better than what she is. If you take away that trait, she becomes close to being worth the points. If you said like, hey, your trait's the same, give her another click of life, or make it so that June Moon or Enchantress is you just pick one of the two options. She's fine then. She's good. She's a great figure. But that what part of Suicide Squad didn't you understand is total trash, and it ruins too much because you don't know how to balance penalty with stats, and just like saying, like, all right, how am I going to rally? Like, how am I going to come back? And the fact is you can't. And they just want to punish. It seems like when your game maker wants to punish you for trying to come back, you have a problem. So this would have been, in my opinion, this would have been a perfect set to say, like, look, you have objects. Look, I'm going to start giving you penalties for having objects. Or, hey, you have objects. Guess what? We're going to have wonky things that are going to happen with objects. You have to roll D6 on a 4, 5, or 6. You can't use your equipment. Or on a 1, you can't use your equipment. On a 2 through 3, you can. Your opponent gets to also get the benefits of your equipment. On 4, 5, on a 4, 4 and 5, you get to use your equipment normally. On a 6, remove an action token, you get to use your equipment normally. If you had a character like that, I would love to play that character. You don't, get the equipment for free, but heck, if your opponent rolls poorly, either they can't use their equipment, or you get to, pick a character, or that character gets the benefit of the equipment. That would have been great. But they don't think long term. They don't think in a block. They don't think how these characters are going to compete against other characters that have been released. They don't think about how everything in a year's time is guiding a player to 5 or 6 specific points where they can look back at their year of spending and be like, you know what, I'm glad I went down at least two of these paths, or 3 of these paths, or all of these paths, because I support, this company and everything that they do. There's a problem. There is a distinct problem. So, again, like I said, don't buy this. Just don't buy this. I'm going to do a sealed, and I'm probably going to try to get some of the Justice Gods and a Nightshade and maybe Enchantress and Kite Man. And I'm done. Because the rest of the stuff I don't need. The Harley Quinn, wasted opportunity. So many Harley Quinns are just wasted opportunities. And again, like I said at the beginning of the show, it's like if I was a feminist, I would actually legitimately be mad. Because it seems like they did not take the time to craft good female characters that are competitive. But that's just my opinion. Alright, I'd like to thank you guys and gals for watching today or listening. Right after this, my little wrap up, you're going to see my Omaha travel trip. I'd like to thank everybody at Krypton Comics and Sparta Games. They're 2 great venues in Omaha, Nebraska. And yeah. So you can follow me on Twitter at StartOverPod. It came from outer space and told me, planes of Eidolon, they're calling for you, Edward. Go spear some fish and kill some giants. Yeah, Warframe, man. Planes of Eidolon. There we go. You can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com if you wish to opine. Keep it piffy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome, baby. Send me your cold and flu recipes because I need them. I'm a week into this cold, man, and my snot looks like eggs, looks like egg yolk. TMI, but you all have been with me through worse. And last but not least, you can go to the blog, startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com, to donate to the show. Everything goes back into making the show a more quality experience. I'd like to thank you all for listening. And here's my Omaha trip video. I feel like a 80-year-old who has, video they're showing the grandkids of their vacation. And without further ado, let's get started. that's like really good luck. Even if you said 15 boosters, but it's 15 boosters between 3 sets and a super booster. So yeah, all right. I thought that was the epic story there. So for the WKO, what motivated you to play this team? Was it just like, hey, I don't want to play Unimind, but I think this can fight Unimind, or it was just like, I got freaking lucky, I'm going to play this?
All the talk about Unimind, I was building against him, and just the luck of the pulls, I went with. I love Shark Shredder. People like to play him as Notion Resurrection. I prefer him at full.
Yes. Okay. So, tell us what your main viewpoint of why Shark Shredder at full. What advantages that gives you?
He can carry. You got to hit him a buttload to kill him, and he's a main target. So the rest of your team can do almost whatever they want while they're concentrating. And he's 130 points, so he can call almost anyone in.
Okay, there we go. So I lost to it. I've been pro innovation, and like I said before, like, hey, we can't blame Unimind being around if we're not trying other stuff. So he beat a Unimind team. I'm going to see what else happens. I'm also looking for the evolution of the Unimind since October, and we got a decent amount of people here at WKO. This is day 1. We have a day 2 in Omaha at a different venue. Loving Krypton Comics here. We're going to go into the next recording here.
Down 4 points.
All right, guys. It's top 8. I made it. Happy. All my local guys made it. Also, my teammate Lucas Van Hollen made it. So we had 2 of my local guys have to play each other, and that was rough. I had to play 2 of my local guys in prelims. I went 3-2. Yeah, so it's rough right now. We have 2 Unimind teams in top 8, and so we're just going to see how this goes. So yeah, Omaha day 1. We'll see how this goes in the next couple rounds. All right, end of day 1. I made top 4, lost in top 4. Lucas Van Hollen won, my teammate, so yay. Also, my other local guy, worked with Seth, he got second. And also the guy I hang with, his name Jake, he also made top 8. Unfortunately, he played Seth early on. So yeah, also Josh, Megalos Man, he also, I think he made it to top 4. No, he made it to top 8 and then lost. Yeah, so it was all good. Very good day 1. We're gonna go and see what happens in day 2. Hopefully, we can pull some good jank. All right, see y'all in a little bit. Day 2, getting breakfast. Probably gonna get some salmon sliders thing. We're at a place called Over Easy. Just checking that out. My friend here, Seth, has worn his second X-Men shirt of the day. He got second yesterday at the first tournament at Krypton Comics. I got 4th, and then Jake made top 8 too. So we're killing it. So it's sealed. So it's more relaxed today. Also, Isaac won. Got first. No, not Isaac. Sorry, I'm tired. Lucas Van Hollen. I apologize. Got first. So we're good to go. Day 2, and I'll check you in a little bit. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is day 2. We are at WKO, Omaha, Nebraska. We're at Sparta Games. It's pretty. Everybody's gone for lunch. Pretty much very cool environment. They got food restaurant over there. You can sort of see. They got but they're not here today. It's Sunday. But they got the internal catering. They got some. If you like the adult beverages, they have a liquor license, so they can give you some adult beverages, and they pretty much just focus on board games. So it's pretty cool. I did not do that good today. I went 1-3. I did not make top 8. We had about 20 people, and it's pretty good turnout. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made the entire tournament was just trying to get too aggressive and not really having so much of a backup plan after I was attacking with my main attacker. So my team was Athena. I had her. She's great. I had the leader, not the red leader, just the leader. I also had Eric Masterson, and I had a Stoneman of Saturn. And one of the major mistakes I look at back at this event, definitely from a build perspective, was that I also had Balder, and I didn't know that the Stoneman from Saturn could be played at the lower point value. I thought there was some special thing where you get an additional Stoneman of Saturn for 20 points because I didn't read the card. So what I should have done is I should have played Balder. Balder would have given me a leadership, and then I could have also played Stoneman of Saturn, and then that would have been my a good solid 100 points right there. But other than that, I really don't have any mistakes about my day. Just couldn't hit some rolls and some matchups where it was almost guaranteed to go my way. It just didn't. So, I mean, other than that, it was a pretty good day. One thing I definitely see right now in this event is Unimind killing, Thorbuster killing. Athena is sort of your, please dear God, let me have enough to build around her, because once she takes a hit, she nosedives. I'm really not seeing that much more stuff outside of the predictable figures. Now, the one guy who did pull the Chase Thor, unfortunately, he just went like 1-3 and dropped before we got to top cuts, but he walked out with $120 something in his pocket right there. So it's all good. So what I'll end up doing is I'll try hitting you up a little bit later, and we'll see what we can find. Okay. All right. I'll see you all in a little bit. Real quick. All right. This is the finals of the CLWKO. Just state your name for everybody.
Kevin Nelson.
Oh, okay, cool. This is not your first go around, is it?
No.
Okay, what did you pull?
I pulled Unimind, Dina, nothing else very good. Grog.
Okay, so you just pretty much played, was it 275 point Unimind or?
Yeah, 275.
Okay.
And then I had Dina on the sideline and the Stoneman of Saturn to round out the team to 300.
Okay, so cool. So what was your biggest challenge today?
My biggest challenge was probably in the first game. Like, I just couldn't make any rolls, and then I switched dice. The guy who beat me in the first game actually got second place.
Oh, okay.
So we went 1-1 against each other.
So there you go. Is there anything that, in your WizKids Open experience you were like, hey, this is good, and one thing you wish you could change?
Nothing that I can really think of.
Oh.
Never put too much thought into it.
Oh, okay. All right. And what's the venue you play at?
I play at Rainbow Sports Cards in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
South Dakota. Okay, cool. All right, you have any shout-outs for anybody?
Shout out Isaac and Lucas Von Hollen.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, those are my teammates too. That wasn't rigged for anything at all, but yeah. All right, cool. All right, that's it. Congratulations on winning, and that's it for this episode of Starting Over Podcast. Thank you all for paying attention and being with us. That's our cool judge for this round. He did a great job. I recommend if you're going to be in the Nebraska area for WKOs, either it's hosted at Sparta or Krypton Comics. It's a good time. You'll have a good amount of people that are really skilled players and also judges that know the game. So that's it, and I will see you all next